if you want to sell baby and kids products, it's a big market. I'll talk about that in a minute. But there are also some things that you're supposed to be doing to stay on the legal side of it. So if you're selling on Etsy, you're selling in a craft fair, you're selling online anywhere, things that are designed for children under 12, you need to follow some general guidelines. And that has to do with the CPSIA, which is the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act of 2008, and the CPSC, the Consumer Product Safety Commission. So before we go any further, I just need to do a couple disclaimers. I am an artist and I have a background in business. I am not an attorney. I'm not a compliance specialist. I don't work for the government. So this is for educational information. I do have a PDF where I have gathered this all in writing. This video and the PDF is intended for you to have a starting point to educate yourself so that you don't get into trouble if you start selling things for babies or kids under 12. I don't want you to be caught off guard and say, oh, I had no idea any of this mattered. I thought I could just do whatever I wanted. I always like to stay on the legal side of things because I don't want to get sued. I don't want cease and desist from attorneys, and I don't want you to have that either. Knowing that, I'm not an attorney, this is educational, this is just information that I have researched and how I'm understanding it, then you need to do your own research and make your own decisions. Now I'm going to keep explaining what I have learned. Bear with me, don't let your eyes glaze over. This is not the fun creative part, but this is important, both for your business and for the kids that will be receiving products. You want to make sure that what people are buying and giving to children are going to be safe, especially if you are in business, because if you sell something and it becomes a problem, you could have a big lawsuit on your hands. And my goal is always to not have to give my money to lawyers. So this is what you need to know. The Consumer Product Safety Information Act, CPSIA, is in charge of children's products designed for children under 12. That includes handmade items like toys, teethers, blankets, bibs, hats, etc. So the things that you need to be aware of are watching out for lead content. We don't want babies or kids chewing on things made with lead paint. So you need to be very careful about the types of paint that you use if you're painting anything, the types of snaps, trims, beads. Some trims and beads might have lead or other phthalates. I don't even know how to say that, which are banned plastics. You may need to have third-party testing. That is more if you're really going into business and doing a lot. If you're doing just smaller, which is what I believe most people that are watching this video are going to be doing, you're probably not going to have to do third-party testing, but you will need to create what's called a CPC, which is a Children's Product Certificate that shows compliance. And this is something that you're going to make and you're going to keep records for yourself in case there is an issue. But then there are also some labeling requirements. Now, if you're just making something for a baby shower that you're just going to be giving away, that's totally different. That's kind of between you and the person and how they feel about it. But if you are selling, this stuff is important. Small parts and choking hazard rules. Anything for kids under 3 have to have parts that do not fit into a choking cylinder. So it has to have big parts so that they're not going to be eating anything. And older kid products need to have a warning. I'm sure you've seen those. If you have kids and you've ever bought anything at a store, you are going to be familiar with these things. Now I'm just telling you that if you're going to be selling to the same market, you're going to be the one that's in charge of this. There's some flammability rules, sharp edges, no long cords or drawstrings on baby items so that they can't choke, etc. So this is what is going to matter for you. Small batch manufacturer registration. And this is really designed for handmade sellers. So if you're going to make items in small quantities, you can register as a small batch manufacturer to reduce some of the testing costs if you even have them. But you do still need to meet safety standards. Then I will also give you a link to the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission. This is obviously for people in the US. There are going to be different rules and regulations, especially in the EU. That's all changing pretty quickly. So this is not advice for anyone living in the EU or Northern Ireland. This is US type regulations. You might decide baby is not an area where I want to sew and sell because there's too much paperwork to do. and maybe move into something that is less of a problem that way. All of that said, if you're not scared yet and you still love making things for babies, it is doable. People do it every day, and it is a very big market, especially for things that are more custom or personalized, is made by someone like you or me, than to just order something off of Target. So a lot of people like to do that for gifts like baby showers, new baby, etc. I do have a PDF where I have gathered this all in writing. This video and the PDF is intended for you to have a starting point to educate yourself so that you don't get into trouble if you start selling things for babies or kids under 12.